Hey, my name is Linslow. I play in The Sims, and we are doing a fitness plaza, and this is in the world of Myshuno. I think actually what was here was a gym before, and it had a pool and everything. Either it was a gym or it was a pool. But in this one, we have three fitness venues in this one, and I actually love the way that this turns out. It ends up being a regular gym, a yoga studio, and then I don't even know what to call it. It's like a fitness gym, but it's specific to like rock climbing and like applied fitness. So it's boxing, it's sparring, and then we have rock climbing, and it's really cool. So I don't really know exactly what to call that. So I guess I'll think about it when I'm trying to make the thumbnail for this. So those are the three that we have. And then also for the pace of this video, I end up making it chapters. So the first one is the exterior of the entire build. And then we go from gym to yoga to applied fitness. I do not actually create it in this order, like actually creating it. So as I'm working on one thing, it may not look like the gym is finished. And that's because that's not how I did the video itself. So don't be alarmed. Let's just focus on what I'm doing when I'm doing it, because everything else may not look like how I just showed it. But in the end, it does. I just wanted to make it a little bit easier for viewing, because I do end up going from venue to venue like within a second. And so I don't want that to be a jarring experience for you guys. So what we just finished, what we are working on finishing, is the applied fitness building. And I love that sign. I think it came with base game or Myshuno. I don't know, because a few of the builds in Myshuno actually have that signage, but I think it worked perfectly for this one. And so the colors in there are like black, green, and we have that brick. And so what we're working on right now is the yoga studio, and I love this. It ends up having lighter wood tones and a white complement, and then we have like blue-ish, but really the interior is a pinkish kind of tan. And so I like having that because it's very calm and everything. But for this one, I did have a lot of struggle creating the exterior for this, and I feel like I did have to take some of the footage out because I was just sitting there with all those swatches for ages, and I could not keep that in there. You guys would not like that. So instead of brick on this side, we have a stone and then brown siding, and I like that. And the stairs are in the back of the build, so you actually have to walk outside to go upstairs and downstairs, because this gym actually ends up having 4 levels, and that's the basement, the main level, second level, and then this top level, which you can see, I don't really know if you could call it a top level. It's really just the top of the building, so I guess. But up there we have a basketball court, and then there's a bar and some seating, and that's about it for that one. But I kind of just work on that because I wanted to see what I was doing. So now we're moving into the actual gym, and this is the first venue that we end up decorating, and this ends up having 2 saunas. We have a little storage area where, you know, our Sims can really just lay everything down, maybe change into their workout clothes, and then we have a very large bathroom. All the bathrooms in this particular venue is on this basement level, and that's because there are multiples of it. So there ends up being 6 toilets and 6 showers, and we end up having 4 sinks. I like this, and I like the idea that all of these venues are really just made at the same time, because they end up having the same structure in a sense, because I end up using this kind of bathroom layout in the yoga studio, and I like that, especially because it gives off a spa-like feel. And although the yoga studio is strictly yoga and it doesn't have any of the other things that come with spa day except for maybe a manicure thing, I wanted this to have the sauna because I feel like they're working out so much, they probably need that steam. And I end up working in here, and this is where we have the storage area, and there's a lot of the backpacks. Having these lockers, I don't even know what kind of material they are, but they give so much like a traditional gym, and that's really what I was trying to go for here, a traditional gym with a luxury type twist. It's not a full twist, but definitely a twist. At this time, I moved to this main level, but I don't actually stay here. I just add in a desk that we have in the greeting area, and this is where I think workers spend most of their time, and then I go right back up to this top level and add a bar. And I actually love this long bar, and I think we needed a seating area too, because it could just be like a speculator's way of just enjoying the game. So maybe they come up here, maybe they have a gym membership at that gym, not for any of the equipment or anything, but just because they want to play basketball, and we're able to give them that. So they come up here, they play basketball, they have a drink at the bar, or add some, you know, olives or whatever other food they have at the bar. And then I have this small space up here that we have like just a patch of grass. I was able to add the grass flooring, and I feel like that really made the space. And then I come back down and actually start working on this main level. And for this, I love the use of the platforms. So on this bottom level, we have a platform that you have to walk down to actually use some of the gym equipment, and we end up using those machines. I did start to put them on that top level, but I moved them down with the treadmills, and I feel like it just makes sense to have all of these in one space. It does give off an actual gym in the sense that everything is very crowded, and whenever I think about it, I immediately start thinking about Planet Fitness. One time, me and my sister, we actually had a Planet Fitness membership, and I remember getting out of those gym memberships is quite literally like getting out of a legally binding contract with, I don't know, maybe like a music company or something. It's just awful. They require so much of you, and I'm like, I literally just want to stop coming to the gym. I don't know. And this is what I thought about when I was building that bottom level. So we use the wood flooring for like the customer area or like just walking, but wherever there's actual working out going on, we have that kind of flooring there, and I think it's linoleum maybe. But then behind this area, let me start off by saying I absolutely love this front desk area. I have a lot of different things that you can buy. There's that little vending machine that actually looks like a vending machine but really isn't, and then we have awards and trophies and jerseys. I think the jerseys that we have there are actually just of past gym members who actually have gone on to play professional sports or do bodybuilding or something, and so that's why I think the trophies are there. And then also, you know, those jerseys, and the board is what, you know, classes they have or what personal trainers are able to be there and things like that. And I don't want to forget that you can also buy bottles there too. And then I use some of these windows, and I think they're just windows for the exterior, but I use them as like kind of fences inside here, but it's not a fence, it's actually half walls. And I like that little detail that I added there. So on the second level, we now have some chairs there, and these chairs are actually just for like, you know, a quick rest, because we have TVs on the opposite side of this wall where you would have like TV instructed or guided instructed workouts, and that could be the sculptural working out, or it can be the dancing or anything like that. And I thought about putting a dance thing there, but then I went back down on this bottom level of this, and that's when I remembered that I had this room with mirrors, and then I added the dance floor there. So you can bring your club here and just practice dancing there, and I have some music things in there so you can turn the music on. And then we have a little seating area with some additional lockers right there, and I feel like that would be a place where a bunch of the workers would sit down with potential members and just talk to them about what the gym has to offer and things like that. And then I add some chairs right there. And then this is when I start thinking about what kind of wallpaper that I could put in here that would make the most sense. And because I wanted to go for a more traditional gym, I end up going for something that is a little bit darker. We keep the wood going from the bottom of the floors. And that's when I thought, oh, wow, this actually looks like a gym I would hate going to. But there's a lot of things here. There's a lot of potential, and this yellow lighting really brings it home for me. So I hope you guys like this venue. We're coming to the end of this. I'm just adding wallpaper everywhere. We completed the bathrooms on that bottom level, as well as 2 of the saunas. We have a lot of gym equipment here. You can work on your dancing skill, fitness skill, and with all the mirrors, you can still work on some of your charisma skills as well. And so that is the first gym venue on this Fitness Plaza lot. So we're finally moving into this yoga studio, and don't tell anyone, this is like a secret between me and you. This yoga studio, although it's so small and it's not a lot of stuff going on, granted, it's literally just a bunch of yoga mats, and we have a meditation studio and all that stuff, but it's not a lot, and this might be one of my favorite venues on the lot. So we end up having a total of 3 spaces in this yoga studio where you can practice yoga, 1 of the spaces where you can practice meditation, and then we have a bathroom, and then spaces where you can put your clothes and change into your workout clothes. And so I like this so much. It's actually a great place for you to collectively do that, and a way that you can have yoga instructors come here is that you can just tap on those, hire a yoga instructor for 100 simoleons, and then cheat your money back. That's typically how I do it when I'm playing in a storyline, but as in real life, you do have to pay something. So I would say, like, say a yoga instructor costs 100 simoleons, I would only give myself back 80, and so essentially I'm paying 20 simoleons to take this yoga class. But back to the build, you can see I really wanted to use these stalls, but they're just like so large, and so there's only 1 toilet in here, but it is a fairly small yoga studio, so I feel like it's okay. So there's 1 toilet, there ends up being 2 showers, and then we have a lot of spaces where you can put in your towels or robes or whatever it is that you end up using. I would have loved to have a little bit more yoga decorations that came with spa day, because that's when we got like the wellness skills and things like that. So it would make sense for us to have a yoga studio. I don't know, but it would be cool if we could do that. Although it's not necessarily a fitness skill, it still works, and it would just make sense if we had like yoga mats and stuff like that. But on the topic of that, I did go CC shopping, and I did find a lot of yoga decor. And so I would love to make an actual yoga studio, but with some CC. If you're open to that, please let me know in the comments. I don't know, but this is the meditation studio you can see right there. It's very, very serene and different than the other two yoga spaces that we have there. And so this is when I go into the bathroom and I end up changing the layout of that because it just needed to make better sense and needed to flow a little bit more. And I feel like this does that. Those laundry baskets are definitely underrated. And then I come outside and add these beautiful lights. I feel like they just needed to light up this yoga studio a little bit more. And although I needed them on the sides, it just looked like 6 lights just looking at me, and I didn't want that. So I moved into this front area. So this is as soon as you walk into the yoga studio, this is what you're seeing. And I end up going for the desk that we got with Spa Day, of course, but the vibe didn't really match. And so I did end up having to use this brown color because it kind of matches the floor symbol that we have there. And then the walls. So I figured that's as close as we're going to get. I end up using the Spa Day speakers because I feel like maybe you can have some easy listening music play while you're doing yoga or meditation. We don't actually have those speakers out on the top yoga space, but it is in those spaces in the building. At one point in building this yoga studio, I do end up adding the grass flooring in there. And I don't know, you guys, this just makes so much sense. Don't get me wrong. This just makes sense to have it there because when you're out in nature, it gives a sense of grounding, I guess. But because this is in San Myshuno, maybe as soon as you go outside and do yoga, it's like mega loud. And so maybe that wasn't the best decision, but you can also place this anywhere else you would like. It does not have to be in San Myshuno. So as it looks right now, I thought I would be done, but then I had this amazing idea of this yoga studio being able to sell yoga mats and merch and things like that. So there is some small bits of clothing that you can buy from this yoga studio, and then there are some yoga mats and then maybe some other small weights, and there's also some containers over there. So I feel like that would be like maybe some supplements, or maybe that's like massage lotion or pain relief lotion, something similar to that. And all of that kind of made sense to me. With those changing lockers over to the side and then adding some paintings, that is the end of our yoga studio. And then we're moving into our applied fitness building over here. We have rock climbing, and I knew that I needed to use the fitness stuff pack. So all of these I do end up using some kind of specific pack. And for this one, it's the fitness stuff pack. For the other one, it's Spa Day. And then the other one, I just used some base game things a lot. And then it's really just a bunch of everything because, you know, we end up having a basketball court, there's a dance studio, there's all those things in there. And so here we end up having 2 treadmills, 2 rock climbing machines, we end up having 2 sparring machines, and then 4 boxing bags. Unlike the yoga studio, though, we do end up having some space where different members can just sit and chill. And then there is that mirror that we end up getting from the fitness stuff pack as well. And I feel like that would just be a way for them to turn around when they're on the rock climbing machine and look at themselves and be like, whoa, I'm really doing this. And yes, you really are, because have you seen some of the animations for the rock climbing activity? It's so wild. Sometimes they fall off of it, but once their fitness skill is really high, they really look like they're pros, like they've been rock climbing. So this particular venue, you walk in, you're seeing that small front desk because it is a very small venue compared to the other 2. And so you walk in, you see the front desk, you see the chairs, there's that small little vending machine that's really just a refrigerator. And then you keep going forward, and then to your left, there is a small hallway that you can walk upstairs to that second level. And if you keep going to the back, there's this small locker room area. And then to your left, there is a toilet and a sink. And then to your right, there is a set of 2 showers. I do end up adding a long ottoman right in front of one of the rock climbing stations, and then I go into the bathroom and start doing some work in there. The sink that comes with the fitness pack is so underrated. I love it. It comes in beautiful swatches. This particular swatch is the standard one or default one. So, and it worked with this venue. So I was like, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to do anything with this one. So I left it, but then I love that I end up using it in a lot of my builds upcoming and in the past. So I like the way that turns out. I do end up going for a full tiled look in the bathroom and in the shower area, but then I was like, no, I can't do it. I don't know, floor to ceiling tile that isn't like different in some way or have some kind of pattern usually doesn't really fit with a lot of the builds that I make. And that's one thing that I would like to change moving forward, or at least try to. I want to be able to build a lot of different things, and that would be a way for me to do it, I guess. And so I end up moving right upstairs. I did want to use these shelves, and I think this shelf is what we got with kids stuff pack, but I'm not really sure. I did end up only using 2 of them right now. You can see I have 3, but I end up changing to 2, and I use some awards, I use some ribbons and things like that to put on them on the opposite walls. I don't know if you remember, but we actually got fitness decals with the Growing Together expansion pack, so I end up putting those on the opposite wall where those shelves were, and then I end up adding some of these flags here that are from the Discover University, and I don't really have a rhyme or reason to put those there, but with all of the athletic or fitness trophies that I end up adding, it just makes sense for that to be there, and so I did it. And then you can see I end up putting a carpet area right where those punching bags are, and I wanted it to kind of look like a boxing ring in a sense. It's not a boxing ring at all, and I didn't want it to be completely, but I feel like just having that little square on the floor did it for me. And then I add some finishing details, and then we are done. We have this applied fitness studio, we have a yoga studio, and then a traditional gym. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like this video. Please let me know what your favorite venue of this lot is, and then I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever more of my videos are posted. Bye.